Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. I hope that you're enjoying your holiday. Wanted to make this video to kind of talk about something that's been on my mind for a while, and I think that it'll help you out. There's a lot of people that's just flat out struggling, credit repair issues, debt issues, living paycheck to paycheck issues. And what I want to do is I want to kind of share with you some things that I had to do in my life, because I see, like, you know how they always talk about there's like a sugar high, like you eat sugar and it spike you up and then all of a sudden you come, flat back down to earth. I mean, not to put anybody down or nothing like that, not to point no fingers at anybody. But there's a lot of, when it comes to getting out of debt and repairing credit, there's a lot of sugar highs that's going around. People are trying to get you to go out and get all these credit cards. People are trying to go out there, get you to do all these loans, all these gimmicks and tricks and all of this stuff. And I'm just not about that. I'm just not about that. I'm about planting the seed. I'm about, it takes time. More importantly, one of the things that I do tell people to do is when you're coming to repair your credit, if you're doing it yourself or you're coming to a company like mine, is that you need to take responsibility about where you are at. Because no matter what a person or a company can do to help you, if you don't make changes, with your behaviors, with the way that you live with credit, the way you manage your credit, the way you manage your money, you're going to be right back in the same situation. And one of the, I hate to have this happen. Some people may think it's good, or, even some of my reps that work for me, they'll be like, man, this is a client that we had, 3 years ago, and they're back, they need help again. And they'll, I don't say anything about it, but this is how I feel about it. Since I'm always real here, is that I don't like it, because we teach people. Like, one of the things that we do, if people ask, we don't like impose it on people, but we talk to people about their habits. See, we're not just a regular credit repair company that's out there that's just fixing credit. If it was just about sending out, letters and doing all of that stuff, everyone would be successful. This stuff comes down to how people are thinking about money and credit and the things that they do on a daily basis, what they have, their habits that are inside of them. Some people don't feel comfortable holding money. They get money and they spend it right away. They don't feel comfortable. And this is stuff that is passed down. And I tell people, this is the result of having bad credit. See, some people just think you just don't get approved. The results of bad credit is you're going to pay more for the things that people pay less for. The results of having bad credit is going to be where you're going to have high interest rates, and you're just going to be putting your money, you might as well just flush it down the toilet, because that's what you're doing with the interest rate. You're not going to be able to own a home, and you're going to be paying 100% interest to the landlord. You're going to have a landlord on your back. So that's not just about money. That's about having someone over your shoulder all the time. It's also about appreciation. In your home, that's one of the first places that people start to build wealth. And then if you try to start a business, if you try to open up a business, I was talking to a gentleman about this. I was like, hey, even if you're going to pay cash, you got money to get into the business, eventually it's going to be a situation where you're going to have to utilize your credit. I've seen this over and over again. It even happened to me. And thank God that I had my credit repaired in order, because people will say, well, we still want to see your credit situation just to know how you handle your money. Like, I ran into this literally when my daughter was in college in performing arts school. And they said, I said, hey, I'm just going to pay the 2 years for all of her living in this condo. I'm just going to pay all 2 years. It was $1,500 a month. I said, I'm going to pay you a year at a time. And they was like, we don't care if you're going to pay us a year at a time. You still have to have a credit. We still want to run your credit. And if I didn't have good credit, they would have not let my daughter stay in that gated condominium. And this is the first time that she was away from home, and I wanted to make sure that she felt comfortable and safe. She was only 18 years old. So just think about any of your children that are in that situation, and you cannot get them in a comfortable place just because of your credit. And then this is the thing, is that our children, they follow what we do. They don't just go off of what we say. And if you're giving bad habits away to your children, you're passing that stuff down, and it could take generations and a lot of work to turn this stuff around. Another thing that I see with people is when we talk to them about repairing their credit, when we actually talk to them, that they have this feeling inside of them to where they just have this resistance. And that resistance is all of that stuff that you gobbled up and internalized from family, friends that have told you how to handle money, and they don't even know how to handle their own money. But inside of you, you're so used to that. It's just like when you try to go on a diet and you stop eating certain foods, your body reacts. It's like, man, come on, you better get me that donut. You better get that into me. Same thing happens with credit repair. When you're trying to repair your credit, when you're trying to get out of debt, it's not gonna feel good. It's not gonna feel good. If it felt good, then you would be able to do it instantly. So if you're suffering with bad credit right now, ask yourself, are you ready to go through that not feeling good period? For anything that you're gonna accomplish in your life, there's gonna be a period of time that you don't feel good when you're trying to make those changes. Now, let me tell you about visualization. I'm going to tell you about visualization, and I'm going to also tell you about planting seeds on how you need to start thinking about your credit repair process. With visualization, you need to visualize the end result of what you want for your credit repair process. Like if you think that you want to get to an 800 score, you want to get to 825, you need to put that picture in your mind. Let me tell you why that's so important. Because what will happen is your body will start to follow. The more you do that over and over and over and over again, you see that picture, you see that picture, you see that picture, that will allow your body to not get so sick and so drawn back to the old you, that it will allow you to keep moving forward. I tell people, you see that new picture of yourself, how you look when you have that new car that you can afford at a low rate, or you have one of these. Look at this. You see that? That's my RV that I go around comfortable in. Yeah, I don't have a Rolls Royce, but I do have an RV. That's my Rolls Royce because I can live in it. That's my Rolls Royce. But it's not about just that. What it's about is that you visualize what you want, and then your body will start to follow you to get there. No, it's going to be hurdles. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be mental hurdles, and there's going to be physical hurdles. But now let's talk about planting seeds. Now I'm going to give you a story. This guy right over there, I don't know if you can see it. It's a distance away. Every morning. Well, number one, this land that I live on with a new home, that my wife and I visualized this. Number one, my wife visualized us moving back out to the county with land. After she had her transplant, she wanted to get back into horses, and I wanted to support her with that. But this is the thing, is that for that to be able to happen, there was certain things that I visualized, certain things she visualized. Number one is that it had to be a new home. Like we went around and there was houses that people had lived in. It was going to need a lot of work. Land was okay, but it was going to need a lot of work. And I had it in my mind, it's got to be a new build of a home. I'm not going to move into a house that has to do a lot of work. And she had it in her mind too. And she also, we were both thinking, hey, we're getting older. We want to have a one-story, like a long one-story house. Now, to have something like that built, you got to find the land. You gotta, then you gotta have the house built. That's gonna take a certain amount of months. All of that stuff was gonna, it was gonna take work, and we really didn't have our mind set to do something like that. Number one, it was gonna be for the property and the land, all of that. You're talking about $1.5 million, but we still visualized it. We allowed our bodies to go to see things no matter what. And guess what happened? A young couple that ended up breaking up. They just, whatever, something happened to where they decided not to get married. They had built a home. Their family had actually bought this land that I'm standing on right now. That's why you see the driveway isn't even finished. We're getting ready to get that worked on. But they ended up breaking up, and they needed to sell the property. This property is worth almost $2 million. It's a new house. It's a one-story. It had the land. It had everything. And guess what? We got this property for $800,000. $800,000. Now, in my mind, my visualization was it needs to be a new build. I don't mind moving back out to the county. As a matter of fact, in the neighborhood that we lived in, we had lived there almost 20 years, and the kids were getting older. Other kids, our kids are out of the house, but other kids getting older. Neighborhood is, it was getting a little noisy. So I was okay with it, but it had to meet my criteria. And all of a sudden we came to look at this property, and it was actually, they had a price even higher. And it was for us, and we put in the bid and got it, and everything went through. There was some other crazy stuff that went through that had to work its way out, but it's ours. Now, let me tell you something about hard work and planting seeds. You see that over there's a farmer, and I notice this every morning. I'll come out, drink some coffee on my porch, just look at the fresh air. The sun rises in that direction and goes down in back of my home. And one thing that I noticed, that farmer, and he planted in our area too. My wife, she's got hay, so you can kind of see it popping up. We got in the front and the back, we have a hay field for her horses. But he plants his crops, and he has to wait for them to grow. There's going to be corn out there. I'll get a picture when it goes up. We always know when football season is coming, because out this way, the corn is taller than me. But every morning, he's a milk farmer also. Every morning a truck pulls up. Every morning, rain, sleet, snow, holidays, Christmas, New Year's, it does not matter. That truck pulls up, and they get that milk out for people like us to be able to have milk in the grocery store every day. And the thing that I really appreciate, and I met and we talked to him, and we've met everybody around here. There's not too many neighbors. You can see there's, that's my tree line over there, but there's not too many neighbors, and our land is pretty big. But what I appreciate really about him is that you learn a lesson about people that don't try to rush things, that they put in the work on stuff and they let it mature. And what they do is, he has in his mind every morning, I got to have those cows ready. I got to plant those crops when it comes time to put the crops. And I also got to get the fields ready and for the winter. Like, all of this stuff he visualizes this stuff, and he goes out there and does it. And just think if every morning you woke up, with a sugar high to go out there and do that type of work. You wouldn't even last. You just would not make it. And that's one of the things that we got to deal with in our country, is that everybody is thinking it has to be quick fix. They think that, there's got to be some gimmick to repair their credit in 30 days or less, or 60 days or less. What's going to repair your credit is depending on what's going on with your credit, and depending on your mindset, and depending on what you are willing to deal with your credit. What are your goals, and do your goals match what you're willing to do? Because I can tell you that farmer's goal, he has goals, and he makes sure that he meets them, and he doesn't expect it to happen overnight. Those crops that he just planted over there, at the beginning of the month, that's not going to mature until August. He's not going to cut that until August. And then after August, he had to go through there and retill the soil so he can get it ready for winter and then start this whole thing over again. So this is the way life is, and this is what I want people to start understanding that, because I'm not gonna be the place to get the sugar high. I'm gonna be the place to where one day we might meet, and you're gonna be like, man, I'm glad that I just buckled down and did what I needed to do to repair my credit, to get out of debt, because my family is a lot further forward. As a matter of fact, when you stay with the sugar high, all of a sudden 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, look at where you're at. The results are bare that you're nowhere further than you were before. But when you dig in and you're willing to work hard, look 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years, you're gonna be way better off. Even the people who get themselves back into trouble, when they were better off after they took that long haul to allow us to do what was needed, what was necessary to repair their credit. All right, thank you for your time. If you need help with repairing your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch video What Makes Us Different so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters, statute of limitations for debt that is past legal statute of limitations to collect, debt validation and cease and desist collection activities letter. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're not already, hit that button to get notified of new videos. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.